Hello and welcome to an episode of Honest Tool Reviews. It's going to be a little bit different by a long shot because this is actually aimed at all of you 15, 16, 17-year-old boys trying to get your dick wet. This is all of the 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds trying to get laid. This is for the virgin boys that are expecting they can go out and have some fun. It's the time of their life. They're in their youth. They're in their springtime of youth. They can do what they want, that life doesn't have consequences. I want to do my dishes. I have to do my dishes. But some neighborhood stuff and some other things that I've heard about recently have prompted me to go ahead and have this one-sided conversation, because a lot of young men are being raised by single moms who, for lack of a better description, being single, they're out looking for some dick. They want compassion, they want love, they want peace in their lives, and they're not getting it. And what you're seeing is this woman, your mother, being romantic with men, and you're not seeing a full-scale version of what life is. I think there's some desperation with some of these single mothers, and they think they have to do certain things to get these people, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know what their worth is, but a lot of homes are single mothers now, and because a lot of homes are single mothers, we're not getting the manly, here's what you do, here's how you do it, role in everyday life. And I am a father. I am legally single, and I pay my taxes that way. So I figured I needed to step up and say a few things for the men, because I grew up in a broken home, but I was lucky. I had biological parents, and I had the first set of adoptive parents who broke up, and then they both remarried, so I ended up with six parents. But the first two, the biological ones, were not in my life, still aren't in my life. I think one might be dead. Don't know, don't care. And the other ones, well, they're getting up there in age. I am an adult now, and I live my life the way I was raised to live it. And I wanted to make it a little easier on some of you younger folk, because I've made a few mistakes, but I ain't made all the mistakes. And I think females are very, very curious and hard for us to understand. And I understand the comment section is going to be just blown up with people being all kinds of offended, butthurt. They're trying to be smart. They think things that I say are funny. They want to burn me. I'm trying to do this to help you. I'm trying to do this to help the teenagers that would be watching this. This is not for transgender. So if you're looking transgender advice, you're not going to find it here. This is not for girls looking to become boys. This is not for parents, but y'all are more than welcome to watch this. Maybe it will help you with your children. If you don't have problems with your children, bravo. Maybe this is in agreement with some of the things that you have taught them or told them, or, well, we don't know. I'm just one guy talking to a camera. But hopefully what I'm saying here doesn't offend you or cause you any personal grief. As a parent, I'm just going to give my experience growing up, and hopefully I can use that to give advice to these people who are just now figuring out that their penis gets hard and what you're supposed to do with it. And hopefully it will be helpful if they don't have a father to sit down and explain what his life was like growing up, and therefore they need to be careful. And the world's only getting more and more strict. So without further ado, I want to start with my first experiences. Okay, I'm going to keep these mild, but I met a girl on a bus. We were interested in each other. I ended up getting a car. I was young. I was 16. She might have been 15. I don't think she was 16 yet. And she was really special to me. But, like all of you young boys, her being special was not the only thing on my mind. And unfortunately, I couldn't just be happy with her being special. I wanted to be inside of her. And I made that very well known. I was a pervert. I told her this. I joked that I was warning her of this. I did stare at her chest, and she was not uncomfortable. She liked it. She laughed at it. It was funny. Back in the day, there were girls that thought perverted was funny. If you've ever seen an episode of something called Naruto, you'll notice that Naruto is perverted sometimes, and there's a character called Pervy Sage. And he is generally detested from episode to episode, but he is a heartfelt character. And in my older age, I have learned that lots of women love Pervy Sage. I don't know if it's his honesty and genuine personality, or if they think he's funny. Women do like to laugh. But back to my story, I touched her butt. I touched other body parts. We eventually did find a place to park a vehicle and have sex. And we did have sex with a condom. And here's the thing that, a lot of adults are wanting their children to be exposed to sex, safe sex. But here's the honest truth, and it may not apply to everybody, but it applied to me. Sex was alright. But I knew it was in a condom, and I knew condoms don't feel as good. Because everyone everywhere will not shut up about that. So, having sex without a condom is better. And as a guy, I asked if I could take it off. And she thought she was in love with me. She wanted that too. She wanted to be as close to me as she could be. And so she let me take the condom off. Actually, I believe she took the condom off. And we continued. There was no pregnancy. There was no scare. But when we did break up, it was very emotional. It was emotional for her because she thought I didn't love her. It was emotional for me because I thought she hated me. And here we are, 20-something years in the future, and we're aware of each other. We don't talk. There's no chemistry. She doesn't care. She's just a person. She's got kids. I got kids. So the moral of the story, though, is don't take that big a risk because things do end. You don't want her kids to be your kids, and that your kids are almost 15 years old now. You don't want that. I mean, I understand having kids at a young age helps you be a younger parent. You can play with your child more. But you're the man. Unfortunately, most of you are going to be expected to provide. It's not nice. It's very sexist. But that is the way it has always been. Men, biologically, always provided for the females. We went out and went hunting. And even nowadays, when women say there's gender equality, if you get her pregnant, she's going to tell you, you gotta man up. That's not me trying to be sarcastic. That's not me hating on anybody who's confused about their gender and they get someone pregnant while being confused. You have to man up. You have to become a father. You have to do your duty unless she gets an abortion. And abortions are expensive, and it may weigh on your conscience in the future if you later on decide that that kind of thing is bad. So don't make those decisions and regret them. They can very heavily weigh on your conscience. Okay? Now here's another thought, because that was my first time, and I didn't go into nowhere near everything that some of the young boys salivating at the mouth would like to hear. But I'm not here to, entice you. I'm here to warn you, okay? I had a first time with somebody, and the condom was removed, and now we're not together anymore. Most people are not with their first. A lot of these girls want to be with their one and only. And a lot of you men, you young boys, you young men, are going to want to tell them that you are that one and only. And that you're willing to be with them forever. You're giving them talk that in here sounds good, feels good. I mean, you like her, you think her tits are hot, and you like her smile. You think you could be with her forever. But that smile fades. There's hard days, there's bad days, there's sick days. There's days that she does not act the way you think she's going to act. And that is not a woman's fault. But it's true. And because of this, you're going to experience mood changes like all get out. You are going to experience fear firsthand. What am I doing wrong? Why is she mad at me? Why doesn't she love me right now? She wanted sex earlier. Why does she not want it now? But here's the thing. For some reason, even though the female body feels more pleasure during sex than the male body, they genuinely, typically don't give a fuck about it. There are women that will admit that they do, but for some reason, they're programmed to either not admit it or not care. And that's an either or, because either they won't admit it and they do care, or they don't care and they won't admit it because they don't care. And that makes plenty of sense. If I didn't care for sex and someone asked me, do you care for sex? And I'd say no. But a lot of them do. A lot of them want as much pleasure as they can get the same way you do. But now here's the problem with that. If you find a girl who's willing to let you inside of her, and you're 15 and she's 15, well, I'm not calling her a hoe. 15-year-olds have to experiment with their bodies too. But you have to be careful. Because if she's letting you inside of her body, and you don't really offer anything, you don't bring anything to the table, you're not in love, you just want to get laid, is that how she feels? If that's not how she feels, then you need to not do this, because you are using her and manipulating her feelings to get what you want. On the other side, if you do love her, I think you and your parents should have that discussion. To, everyone who legally has to be responsible for you knows what's going on before you do it. That way, if anything happens, you already know ahead of time, look, if you and her end up having a child right now, life's going to be hard because mommy and daddy aren't going to help. Well, you knew ahead of time. You had a chance to make a game plan if you were going to continue forward with this. Alternatively, you can make the argument that if she's just looking for fun, and you're just looking for fun, and she's just letting anybody in there, that is she, a bucket's just a bucket, but when different people start putting shit in it, there's a whole bunch of random shit inside the bucket. And I'm not saying that females are nasty because of guys depositing things into them. But if she's depositing 5 or 6 different guys in one afternoon, do you really want to, put your body parts in there and feel all of their secretions? That's not going to feel special to you now, is it? Is it really? All of these old stories about guys took their son to get a stripper when they turned 18 or whatever, you hear about it less and less because the guys who got the stripper from their father, they don't want to do that to their child. That means it's majority understood that's not the way you want to lose your virginity. Yes, we want to lose our virginity to an attractive girl. Yes, we want to lose our virginity to a popular girl. But those two things, although they can exist together and is not impossible, do not make for a good first time. And being 15, trying not to get caught, being 16, trying not to get caught, coming up with cover stories, trying to forget about your regrets later, is a bad way to spend your teenage years. And, pregnancy scares at 15 and 16 will cause all kinds of unnecessary fighting and arguing amongst two people that really liked each other to begin with. If you put a baby in her, regardless of your age, you are at her discretion for every single thing. She could tell you she's on birth control. She could tell you she's on the pill. She could tell you she's got the implant thing. She could tell you she has this shot in her arm. Don't believe her. They lie. They all lie. They either lie about being on it, they lie about it being their safe day, or they lie about it being okay that if it happens, it happens. Because if it happens, it's not okay. If it happens, oh, you are on the hook now. Okay? She's not just going to be a single mother just because you're uncomfortable raising a child. Even if she says it to begin with and goes, you know what, if I get pregnant, I get pregnant. I don't need no man. Okay. And then the first couple months, when that shit gets really difficult for her to handle, she's looking the father. I'm telling you right now, I'm expressing, I'm 29 years old. I have been with plenty of women. I have moved in with women. I've had women move in with me. I have been there. Don't believe if a girl says it's fine, if I get pregnant, I will deal with it. Don't believe that. Okay? Don't. Let me put it this way, and maybe you'll understand a little better. If you, for some reason, had told somebody, it's fine if I get pregnant, I'll handle it, and then you can't handle it, would you continue to handle it, or would you get the father involved? Exactly. And also, speaking as a father of a daughter myself, just trying to help the future generations of men out a little bit here. If a woman and you are not in the same general age, you don't have much in common. And women will chase older men. So I'm telling you right now, because I feel that there's a need to be careful. If you're 15, you may hear from 12-year-old girls that say or think they're interested, because sex is all over the internet now. Don't do it. It's better if you don't have sex at 15 and 16 anyway, because if they're lying to you about their age and you're too young and dumb to know the difference, and you can't tell the difference in their bodies yet, because some women, they get all of their adult shape really, really young, some don't, can become pretty impossible to tell who's lying about their age and what age they are and whether or not they're safe to be with. But you're 15. You don't need to be with them right now. Focus on your video games. The whole point of this video is about kids that don't have a dad. Find out from your mom if it's okay to get into archery, mountain biking, hiking, camping. Go shoot a BB gun for a few years. See if you're good at BB guns. airsoft guns and paintball guns and get into firearms as an adult. Set yourself up for a future with a really nice hobby that does not have to be female related or female oriented. Females can shoot guns. Females can join those activities, but you don't want to spend high school and middle school and the rest of your life chasing women and then getting in trouble and being chastised about it. The government, the celebrities, everyone is mad at people. Like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's relationship went down south. And then either you love one or you love the other. And yes, Johnny Depp won. By some miracle, Johnny Depp won. But not every man wins. And most of us don't have the lawyers and the fan base that Johnny Depp has. Johnny Depp has females that love him to the point that he could have probably committed mass murder in front of them and they would find an excuse for him. I don't think Johnny Depp did anything wrong. I heard the phone call where Amber Heard said, "I am a woman. They will believe me and I will ruin you." And that's pretty much one of the points of me trying to reach out to you young men now. Don't let a woman do that, okay? And it comes down to another thing, though. No does mean no. Even when it means yes, it means no. A lot of these girls, they have rape fantasies, rape fetishes. They've been a victim of something earlier on in life or earlier on in that year or whatever. Because, everyone's about being a victim. And if they've had an experience, they may have developed a rape complex. They may want you to do things to them that they don't want done. Don't do it. I know that's complex and confusing. Just don't do it. Don't participate in any confusing activities. If there's a girl that does not want you to come in her, and you know she's on birth control, don't do it. Just don't do it. Even if you tell her you're going to and she doesn't stop you, don't do it. If there's a woman who ever says that she doesn't want cum inside of her, ever, and you want to ejaculate inside of a female, leave and never bother this girl again, even if she changes her mind. Okay? Because there's a reason that she doesn't want male ejaculate inside of her. She may find it disgusting. Some of them do. She may find it to be a bit too submissive of an act for her to partake in. She may find it to be offensive or scary because of the pregnancy thing. What if the pregnancy pills don't work? What if the injection doesn't work? What if I get pregnant even though I've done everything I can to protect myself? If they are scared, you do not pressure them. You do not push them. You leave them alone. Alternatively, men should be more comfortable not coming inside of a woman, because at y'all's ages, y'all shouldn't be having sex. But I've been 18. It was really hard to tell an 18-year-old not to have sex, because I was going to do it. Did not matter. You could have put a gun to my head, and I'd have been like, you're going to have to pull the trigger, bro. You're going to have to pull the trigger. But it's okay. It's okay. Even at 18, speak with the parents that you have available and try to understand why it's something you need to put off. Try to build a life first. What is the entirety of everything I'm saying coming down to? Build a life first. Okay? Get you a house, get you a stable job, go out and become somebody. And then, if a girl comes along, take it slow, because you have a house and you are somebody. So, is she using you? Because some women do. Some men do nowadays, but some women do. And that's an unavoidable fact. Women will see a guy with a nice car, a nice house, a nice job, nice credit line, and they'll marry you, and then they'll dump you, and they'll, the dumping once you're married is called a divorce, where they take half your stuff because you don't love her anymore. And it doesn't matter if you did love her or didn't love her. It doesn't matter if you cheated or didn't cheat. She's getting alimony. She's getting free money. She's getting half your stuff. She's getting paychecks. She's getting child support. And she doesn't have to do a good job raising the children. She just has to get that child support money. And she's getting all the tax benefits for having the children, irregardless. If you didn't have children, you're still paying all the other stuff. You're still paying the alimony. You're still paying the, all of these terms for money that you're paying women. Like if she didn't work, you suddenly have to pay her because she chose to be a stay-at-home wife while you worked. So you have to pay her money every week or every month because it's harder for her to get back out into the working world, seeing as how she has not worked. And it's harder for her to move up because she hasn't worked. So because she made a choice to be lazy or to be simple or traditional, you will end up paying her when it's all done because of her sacrifice to not work. Just think about that a little bit. So even when you get as an adult, it gets scary. So you really, really need to know the women that you're in love with. You really, really need to know these women that you're getting intimate with. You really shouldn't put that body part anywhere near her body part until you can see every way she can possibly tear you down and it doesn't scare you anymore. You need to have complete confidence that she's not going to do that to you. I hope that this has been very helpful. It's probably more scary than anything, and a lot of people probably don't care. And they're just like, man, he's old, he's whack, doesn't matter. I'm not that old. But I own a house in another town, and I don't live in it. So I've been where all of these complaints are coming from. I have children. One's in a grave. Life is hell. Life is literal hell. People die. People end up homeless. People end up addicted to things. People will cheat on you with people that they work with. And it's not worth going through life being dependent on that kind of thing. Some guys get addicted to pornography and addicted to sex, and we think we are chasing the guy dream. We're going to get some good vajayjay tonight. We're going to go get this hot girl and keep her on our arms, and we're going to be Mr. LL Cool J. We're going to be The Rock. We're going to be some cool guy because we got a girl on our arms. Don't chase that. Don't do anything with a girl that tells you not to. Don't trust a woman just because she's there. Don't take her at her word that if things happen that she'll deal with it by herself, ever. And if you are less than 18 years old and you've wandered across this, if you are at all confused and interested in having sex, you need to talk with your parent. I'm assuming it's a single mother because of the way today's society is. If you have a father, you need to speak with your father. If you have two mothers or two fathers or 20 fathers and 20 mothers, whatever the situation is, that's fine. But I'm assuming that a lot of us basically had a single mother kind of thing going on, because men and women our behaviors are very different now than they used to be when there was two parents in the household. And the two parents were of two different genders with two different personalities and two different mindsets. My fathers were stern. They taught me about standing like a rock. They taught me about being brave, stepping up, being defensive of a woman, and protecting her. They taught me to sacrifice for her because I'm the man. I should stereotypically sacrifice my life to save a woman. I should step in front of a bullet to save a woman. I should be really nice to women, even if they're strangers, because they're women. And I don't really see anything wrong with that. But women have been grown up all their lives being told men should be nice to you. Men should do everything for you. Men should go out of their way to help you. Men should defend you. And girls grow up just like men. There's selfish girls. There's nice girls. There's sweet girls. There's really beautiful, genuine, innocent girls. And then there's ugly girls. And there's ugly girls who are genuine and innocent and sweethearted. And there's just mean, sadistic, hateful women that may or may not be attractive. But if they're attractive, ooh, they are out to get your money. They're out to get that protection. They can say whatever they want in public, and if someone doesn't like it, it's okay, because a man will see this, not like it, step in and defend me. Don't get involved. Don't get involved. If any of you have been watching my tool reviews and stuff, I did a tool review on a 22 Derringer a while ago. And then a person asked me about my Derringer, and I posted a comment reply video, not even within the last week, about how I actually open carry it now. Right now it's currently my open carry firearm. And I do it because it's such a small gun. I really have to be very personally involved in order for that gun to be helpful. It's a itty bitty little teeny tiny firearm. My point being, I don't get involved anymore. If I see some guy and some woman fighting, that is their fight. You can call the police, you can ignore it, whatever. I don't get involved. It's not worth it. Even if I've had sex with this girl before in the past, I'm like, hey, yo, not my fault. I'm out of here. Okay? Because your life is important. And you don't want to throw your life away for some girl that turns out she was the bad guy. Turns out she was stealing. Turns out she was running her mouth. Turns out she was talking bad about you. Whatever the reason. Women are very manipulative now. Things are stupid sometimes. And you don't know who to trust. So be very careful about that. Don't just jump into a situation to help a girl because she's a girl. I can't do that anymore. I help when I choose that all of the situational environment things are all perfectly aligned. Like, I completely understand the situation. I understand what it's going to take to get out of the situation. I understand how to get out of the situation. And I can de-escalate it. I refuse to use my firearm to protect anyone but me, my girl, and my daughter. I will not be stepping in to save anyone anymore. And it's a shame, but that's how it is. Because you don't really know what's going on anymore. Even if you see police, trying to deal with a person that seems like a bad guy, you don't know if the police are being bad or not. And if the police do actually get tried for manslaughter or something, and you helped, you might face some kind of charges. So it's best to just not help anyone. And that's just a little bit of side advice for up-and-coming 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old dudes, is even if you want to be a good guy, and you want people to notice that you're a good guy, and you want to help people and be known for helping, pick your battles. Pick your battles carefully, because you never know which battle you might take on. It wasn't the battle you thought it was. You're not on the right side of the war. Just try to keep to yourself. You do a lot more listening than you do talking. And just because you hear it doesn't mean you have to believe it. But try to understand what's being said. That kind of thing will help you in the future. I hope that is enough for one day. And I hope that I've helped somebody with a little bit of advice. You don't have to take everything that I said at word. You can take it as a grain of salt. But hopefully it's helpful. If you're confused about what to do with your newfound sexuality, or your newfound masculinity, just stop and think about what the right thing to do is. Have a great day, and as always, for Honest Tool Reviews, be safe out there.